Okay, guys, here's the latest. At this point, you guys have heard about Kobe Bryant, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about that. First of all, let me say I don't think he's dead, and I'll explain why later. But let's skip that because that's another video. I'm going to talk about Chris Brown and the latest Chris Brown. Chris Brown shares a fake photo with Michael Jackson as fans hail the pair legends. Okay, so I'm looking at this, I'm like, well, this isn't a photo, so roll up here. Keep going. Keep going. Let me see if I can find it. Where is this photo? Apparently, it's a black and white photo, and he put himself into the photo with Michael Jackson. Now, this is something else. Chris Brown pays tribute to Kobe Bryant by painting a giant mural of his face. And he says, "Rest in peace, King." King? Okay, that was weird, right? Then we got Chris Brown sparks Rihanna romance rumors after claiming he's still in love. Okay, that's another story. And I don't know why the hair is red and blue. Actually, I do. Now, red and blue. What do we know about red and blue? The Matrix, right? Red pill, blue pill. Blue pill, you accept everything that's happened. Don't question it. Put everything to bed as it was told to you through the media, right? The Matrix. Red pill, with the red pill, you stay in Wonderland and you see how deep the rabbit hole goes. So what do we have here? Now, I did mention the Matrix on my Facebook. And here we have Chris Brown, red hair and blue hair. You can choose which side and probably which story is true too. Is this Rihanna thing real? I mean, yeah, she might be single again, but is he trying to get back with her? I don't know. And then Chris Brown brought daughter royalty as his date to the Grammy Awards in 2020. I didn't even know they were there. He didn't perform, but apparently he was there with his daughter. Okay. And here we remember with the Kobe thing, they've got the thing that's trending about the dad girl dad. Okay. So here he is with his daughter. Of course, we can have the reference to the Matrix with the hair, and then we have him with his daughter, who's royalty, which could be like royalty, like king, queen royalty, right? All right, there we go. And then we're back to the Michael Jackson thing. Now I'm trying to find the picture of him with a black and white photo. Let me see if I can find it here. Let me scroll. There we go. Now, this is supposed to be Chris Brown shared a photoshopped edit of himself sitting alongside his idol Michael Jackson. And this is an Instagram picture, and it's in black and white, right? Okay, great. We got that. Now, we know Black and White is a song that Michael Jackson made. A lot of the celebrities who have done modern songs, like, perfect example would be Sierra, and she sings the song I Bet. And in the first, when it opens up, it's a ballerina, like a toy, and it's spinning around. Okay, I don't know about the ballerina reference, but in the video, she changes clothes. In one scene, she's wearing white, in another scene, she's wearing black. But she also has the cell phone that they were promoting that Michael Jackson album on. Remember, if you bought the cell phone, you got the album for free, and then 2 weeks later, they went ahead and released the album. Nobody even knew it was going to be coming out, and then all of a sudden, we found out that if you bought the Xperia Z2, you got the album for free, and I think the phone was like $600 or whatever, but it came with the album pre-installed even before the release date of the album. All right, so keep that black and white reference in mind. Now, what I've discovered with this thing with Kobe's helicopter, really funny, right? We've seen the crash site, and they show the overhead, and the helicopter's white, and it has blue details, two tones of blue, like a powder blue and a deeper color blue, like sky blue, I would call it, okay? And Island Express is the carrier of the chopper. And supposedly they said, first they said 5 people were on it. Then they said Kobe was on it plus 7. Okay, so we got the 7 in there. Then the final number was 9. Okay, I don't know if the numbers mean anything. But what's funny is the other night on World News Now, which comes on at 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning, they showed a recovered copter, was supposed to be the recovery trash from the scene, and it was on a very large skid, okay? And they show an overhead of this, but close up. And guess what? All of a sudden, the copter went from being white to being black with details of red, green, and yellow, like a stop sign. And it stopped me, like, okay. And not only that, not only had the color changed from the white copter to black, there you go with the black and white, right? Then all of a sudden, instead of being smashed up in a bunch of pieces, it was totally intact. Now, I'm like, wait a minute, what's going on here? But the killer part was, and you're going to love this, and I was going to talk about it in the other video. I might as well do it here to bring it all together. I don't even know where to start with this, but he was talking. They had a tape, an old tape of Kobe, an interview, specifically asking about the reason why he started traveling in a helicopter. And first he said, well, you know, it's quicker. I can get to my daughter's games in 15, 20 minutes as opposed to taking like a half hour or more driving. You know, trying to get there just cuts the trip in half, and he'd have more time to spend with his family. But he said apparently that when he did take it, he and his wife had agreed that whenever they did take the chopper, that only one of them would go at a time, that neither one of them would get on together. So in the event that it would crash, that, you know, the kids would still have one of their parents. Okay, fine. But then I find out later that day that all copters were grounded. Oh my God, my cat just jumped up. I'm sorry about that. My cat jumped right up into the phone. Okay, now what happened was that day that his copter allegedly came down, here's some things that were really funny, okay? Took off at 9:04 a.m. He had went to church and everything, and they came to the copter, and it was 9:04 a.m. By the time it crashed, it was 9:44. So a trip that normally would take 15 minutes, for some reason took a whole 40 minutes. Okay, now if they were flying around because of visibility, fine. Maybe they were up there longer. You would think they'd bring it down sooner or go up higher to be above the clouds, the fog, or whatever, right? That makes sense. But here's the kicker. All of the choppers in that area were grounded because of visibility and the fog. So why in the world would they give him special clearance on a day that they knew it was dangerous for anybody to be flying? If you're going to ground all, then that means all, not just let one go. Kind of reminded me of that day when Michael allegedly died, and they said the LAX was shut down, right? And only one plane was allowed to leave, and all the employees were instructed to turn their head. And a lot of people said later that they saw Michael Jackson walking through LAX. Okay, at least 30 people said they saw him. Sound familiar? Now you're going to let one plane go when everything else is grounded and shut down for 2 hours? Same thing here. All the helicopters are grounded, but you're going to give one chopper clearance to go. And then, if it was really that dangerous, why would you take your kid up in a helicopter when you knew it was risky business because of the visibility just to get to a kid's game? Not an NBA game or anything that's special or substantial, maybe special to him. Okay, that was fishy, but here's the kicker part. When getting back to what I was telling you about them interviewing Kobe about the reason why he started to fly in a chopper, and there was nothing highly unusual about this interview at first, so I thought, right? Until I see in the background, he's talking about taking the chopper, da da da, the timing and everything. Okay, cool. I'm looking, and then in this room, wasn't darkened. It was normal lighting, I guess you would say. In the background, there was 4 or 5 paintings on the wall, picture paintings framed nicely, you know, and everything. And I look above his, what would be facing us, his the right side, right, my right side, his left, I guess, if he's facing the camera, right above his shoulder. What was it? A picture of Michael Jackson. And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. Okay, now to bring this all together, you know Kobe was participating in this death hoax because in the July 7th memorial, Kobe Bryant went up with not Shaquille O'Neal, but Magic Johnson, right? Okay, now let me tell you about Jimmy Kimmel's show, okay? ABC has been running a lot of stuff, and I've told you guys to pay attention to ABC and especially Kimmel shows like that, because they mention things, and whenever they have a guest who knows Michael Jackson, there's always these fabulous stories that come up, right? Okay, so the night that Kobe died or whatever, and Kimmel had his show on Monday, he did a tribute, and of course he was sad and teary. He didn't have an audience, and he was telling everybody, tonight we're just going to honor him by playing some clips and reminiscing about all the times he appeared on the show. Okay, well and good. The very next day, he had an audience, and he says, "Oh, well, we're going to talk about Kobe tonight, but it's a different atmosphere. This guy is going to cheer us up." Who is it? It ends up being Magic Johnson. Now, isn't it funny that Kobe and Magic Johnson were the two that appeared together at Michael Jackson's memorial on July 7th in 2009, right? Well, totally different atmosphere. They had an audience. And I'm thinking, oh, well, Magic was kind of close to him, so he gets up there on Kimmel and he's reminiscing everything. Not one tear, not a shake in his voice, nothing. It was like nothing had ever happened. And I'm like, yeah, doesn't this seem familiar too? Remember, all the people that participated in the memorial hardly knew him or had never met him or hadn't seen him in years, right? But all his closest friends, Liz Taylor, Macaulay Culkin, Diana Ross, none of them showed up at the memorial. Well, why did we find out later? Because he hadn't really died. So here we go again, right? Now here's the kicker. Here's the kicker. And I don't know if this video will go first or second, but person I know online, to be Michael Jackson, had posted "Rest in Peace, Kobe." Okay, now you remember when Kobe decided to retire back in 2016, that's when Michael Jackson's Twitter account came alive. I mean, it was like he was congratulating Kobe on his retirement, and everybody was tripping because, hey, we got activity on Michael Jackson's account, and it's not the estate saying, oh, this date in history, Michael accomplished this, It was like a congratulations, like it was coming straight from him, right? Okay. So his account came alive that one time. So we know he was kind of like a heads up. Well, here we go. Fast forward to now. He had "Rest in Peace" on his Facebook page. And then I'm thinking, okay, but I was still looking out because I already know he's participating in this thing. Next thing I know, he has got a clip from Twitter from 2013 and another one from 2016 predicting that Kobe Bryant would die in a helicopter crash. It was kind of like one of those Simpson cartoon things, predictive programming, where they have on The Simpsons things come true, like they said Trump was going to be president, and then they had that thing with him coming down the elevator, and all of a sudden, all of it came to life, like it came true, and they also predicted he would die too, so we'll see, but anyway, yeah, man. So, of all things, now I'm thinking, wow, this is Michael's friend, and he's posting this, and it's making reference to being, oh, strange, unusual. It's like, well, look at this, like it was a casual thing, and I'm like, wait a minute now, hold on. Michael said we hadn't seen anything yet, and this death hoax was really going to take a turn for the unbelievable now. Getting back to the red pill, blue pill, and Chris Brown's hair. You got a choice in the Matrix. Taking the red pill, stay in Wonderland, and see how deep the rabbit hole goes. Well, people, let me tell you, I think the rabbit hole has gotten very, very deep. And it's in full effect. And as I told you before, you may not think much is happening, but if you keep on Googling the major players, you're going to see more and more mention of unusual stories with Michael's name in it, people he's associated with doing unusual things, keeping his name relevant in the news and drawing attention. And what does Chris Brown do also? He makes a tribute to Kobe Bryant in the form of a mural, right? And he has "Rest in Peace, King." Now, when did he call Kobe the king? They call, here it is right here, Chris Brown pays tribute to Kobe Bryant by painting a giant mural of his face, and I'm like, okay, fine. But, there's a part of it there. See, he's got the red and blue. But, yeah, it's like, King, Now, here's the thing. I haven't taken a real close look at it. I'm going to look at it, see if there's anything hidden in the lips, because, like, hidden in the lips is the word alive on Michael's mural. See if there's anything in this mural anywhere. I wouldn't be surprised. Oh, and also, if you notice the colors, purple and gold, not only are they for the Lakers, but if you remember in Michael Jackson's memorial, at the one that was at Forest Lawn, what were the colors of the flowers on top of the coffin? They were purple and gold, weren't they? Purple for royalty, which is also Chris Brown's daughter's name, right? And gold for the crown. And then, talk about really weird, this coronavirus, it ain't about beer. Corona stems from the word crown. Coincidence? Tell you what else I want to know. This coroner who recovered the bodies, they said they ID'd him from the fingerprints. Okay, let's find out who that coroner is. And I have a sneaking suspicion it's the same exact one that they used for Michael's death hoax. And with that, I'll say goodnight.